Hi there. As you all know, I'm over 60, I'm 62. But what you may not know is that I'm still raising a high school senior. Well, she will be a senior in August. Let me tell you, it has been both the biggest blessing and at times a real emotional workout. So if you're raising teens later in life like I am or know someone who is, I hope you'll stick around because I would like to tell you about my wonderful daughter. Let me start by saying that my daughter is an amazing young woman. She's 18, she's full of life, she's compassionate, she has drive, she's a social butterfly, she's bubbly, she's so creative and so incredibly smart. But she lives with apraxia, and if some of you don't know, apraxia is when the brain and when she was younger, the verbal, they were going like this. They were just bypassing each other, just like that. So she would have to do things triple, but to learn something. And then when her speech finally came at about 4, then it went to her eyesight and her, visual learning. And so, and it did the same thing. So she has this learning disability that affects her speech and her coordination, but not more now. So not her speech, but her train of thoughts, her putting things together, things like that. She is the kind of person where a normal child would take 20 minutes for a homework assignment. My daughter Gabby, it would take her about an hour, hour and a half to do the same assignment. It's just because her brain, she has to reread the same information 3, 4, 5 times before she comprehends everything. But I'm telling you, she doesn't let her ever stop her. Not for a second. She's an almost straight A student. She does struggle with tests, and we all know standardized testing isn't always fair, especially for kids like her. But she shows up, she pushes her way through, and she's determined. As a mom, watching her become who she is right now is one of my life's greatest joys. But that doesn't mean it's been easy. Oh my goodness. So I'm going to talk about the hard stuff. Parenting at 62 looks different. I don't have the energy like I had in my 30s or 40s. Sometimes just keeping up with her schedule, like school events. She was involved in color guard, her college prep right now, emotional check ins, her homework. It's been a marathon, but it's not just the physical side, it's catching her scrolling on YouTube shorts when she has classwork waiting or chores waiting. It's asking her 5 times to take to do to do her laundry. I do most of the laundry, but sometimes I'm trying to teach her to do her laundry, to do her chores, to do her homework, and realizing I'm still parenting a child that's like 12, but she's 18 now. And so while she's still my baby, I know she has to start stepping up. And that's a delicate balance because I don't want to be the nagging mom, but I also don't want to send her into adulthood without the life skills. And I taught her and my son, he's now 24. Teaching life skills has been really important for my husband and I, to teach our kids. With Gabby, it's just it takes a little bit longer. I'm trying to teach her to get up on her own when her alarm goes off, get up on the first or even the second alarm that goes off, to follow through on her class assignments without checking in every hour. You know, she gets very distracted, anything will distract her. So she likes to go on to YouTube shorts. And yes, we have blocked YouTube. We have blocked so many things on her computer. But kids are smart these days. They find other ways to get around to do what they want to do. And she's smart. She does not have any social media like Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, or anything like that. She will be allowed to have all that once she's out of high school. I know that she's 18, but she's still living at home and she's still in high school. So we still have those rules that when she's out of high school, she can have that stuff. But she's also seeing how that stuff is really taking a toll on her friend group and people at school. And she says that she's happy not having it, and which I do believe that. Those rules are were also followed by our son, and he's doing amazing today. But, executive functioning is tough when you have a learning difference. And in a world full of digital noise, even neurotypical kids struggle to stay focused. So I try to meet her halfway. We talk about why routines matter, why chores aren't just a mom's problem, why learning to manage time is an act of self respect. She hears me, but hearing and doing are different things. And sometimes I have to take a breath and remind myself she's not being lazy. Well, sometimes, but I call it procrastination, which she got from me, unfortunately. But she's still learning. So, look, I'm going to be honest with you. There are days I lose my patience. Whew, and I don't like those days. There are days when I think, why am I still doing this at 62? But I said, you know what? That's when God planned it. I see other people, mine and my husband's age, going on cruises or retiring full time. And I'm here juggling homework reminders and laundry. And I'll be working part time in the fall. But I still wouldn't have it any other way. But also, there's times when she'll just come up to me and say something kind. Or I'll see her push herself through an anxiety induced assignment. Or she'll come hug me out of the blue without a word. And it just fills my heart. She really does have a heart of gold. I am blessed. Those moments remind me she still needs me, not to fix everything, but to guide and to model and to sometimes just be there and listen to her. So, this is what's helping me to try to help her. Letting go of perfection. I stopped comparing her to her brother many, many years ago because they're totally different. And they're learning. My son did not have a learning disability, but she does. And that's a big thing. You cannot have perfection and you cannot compare your kids, no matter what age you are as a parent or the kids are. Making room for small wins, like her remembering to feed the dog without being asked or picking up her clothes in her room, just the small things. And keeping a sense of humor, because sometimes laughter is the only way through. And then I also find support, whether it's through friends, through family, through groups, and even talking with some of you on here. I've also learned to ask for what I need from her and myself. Sometimes I say, hey, I need a break today. You've got to do your part. And surprisingly, she hears that. So, to every parent out there, especially of those raising teens a little later in life, you're not alone. It's hard, it's beautiful, it's draining, and for me, it's rewarding. And if your teen has learning differences, remember, they're not broken. They're becoming. They're becoming into their own. So I want to thank you for listening to me today. If this spoke to you, please hit the like button and subscribe leave a comment, and even share this video, because parents, no matter how old you are, in your 60s, still raising kids, or 30s, 40s, and 50s, if you have a child that does have disabilities and you're still raising them, don't ever give up. We all need to keep lifting each other up. And real conversations, that's what we need to have with one another. So write down in the comments below if you're still raising a child um, in your 60s. It might be your own children, it might be your grandchildren, or your nieces and nephews. Let me know in below, and let me know what's working for you and what's not working for you. I would love to hear that. So thank you again for coming and spending time with me today, and I will see you next time. Bye. God bless.